Hey, Scruffy. Must have saw me behind the blinds. Oh. Meowie tonight. So yeah, the weather still bad. Actually not as bad as yesterday, though. I saw Scruffy sleeping on the table this afternoon. Seemed pretty comfortable, so I'm surprised he's this active right now. Yeah, okay. Ready for food, huh? Right down to business. Get the glove. Yeah, Scruffy's ready for business. So yeah, the temperature continues to be on the kind of cold side. The sun actually came out this morning, and I thought it was going to be a bright and sunny day. I thought the forecast, so I thought the storm system might have passed, and it was actually going to be a nice day. And then by lunch, yeah, it turned dark and gloomy. And then I think it rained a little bit this afternoon. Not a lot, but a little bit. And so, and then yeah, the wind picked up too. So yeah, I was really surprised by the weather. So I thought we'd be deep in the summer now, and feels like winter. It's actually dark right now too, and the sun should be bright right now. I was checking my clock to make sure I didn't miss Scruffy's dinner time because it's so dark right now. But yeah, it's just the storm clouds in the sky. I think I need to sneeze. Trying to fight the urge to sneeze. I think I hear the rain sprinkling right now. So I didn't check the weather report. So I don't know if we're going to get more rain tomorrow. Originally, yeah, there was supposed to be more rain tomorrow. But I always assume that it's not going to rain because we're always in drought. So yeah, it's good we're getting rain. Means I can put off watering the plants longer too. So yeah, I don't think I've watered them this winter. We've gotten enough rain where I haven't needed to. And so at the park I go biking at, there are a couple signs that show the fire level or the fire danger level, and it's almost never set to low. It's always, well, not always, but it's usually high or extremely high. And so the two worst levels that they have. Once in a blue moon, I see medium. And then only like in the middle of winter, right after like a big rain, do I ever see low. And so my bicycle ride the other day, before the rain started again, and yeah, it looked like we were in the middle of a heat wave. I was actually shocked to see that the sign was still on low. I was kind of wondering if they just forgot to change the sign, but um, one thing that is different about the park is, yeah, it's still green. So a lot of the overgrown brush hasn't turned brown yet. Usually by this time of year, it's all dried up, and it's like already a fire hazard. But it's still green, which is pretty rare. Usually it'll be green for about a week, and then it starts browning, and then after 2 weeks, it's completely brown. But yeah, our big rains were months ago, and things are still green. And then I was commenting at the top of the hill, where on one of my routes. On the way there, I noticed there's a stream of water flowing down the mountainside that has never been there before, at least that I've ever noticed. It's always dry, and it's they actually had to dig a new. They had to make a new gutter, and they put out some sandbags and stuff to, I guess, help direct the flow of the water. Because normally there's no water there, and I actually don't know what the source of that water is. So it's unfortunately, it's part of the hillside that I've never said that that you can't. At least it's not meant for people to go in that section. So so I don't know what that region looks like, but yeah, I didn't know there was water up there. And so it's been flowing, and I've taken notice of it the past few times I've been there, and I'm just constantly surprised to see any flowing water there. so we did get a lot more rain than usual. No idea if they're going to relax our water rationing. I hope they do. I was complaining before that they really screwed me on the rationing. So they based it on, I think it was a year before the pandemic lockdowns, and that was a year my dad was in and out of the hospital a lot, so we weren't here at the house a whole bunch of times, or not much anyway. So we weren't really using any water, and basically come home to sleep and then go immediately back to the hospital. And so we didn't use much water those periods, and so we had this really erratic water usage where some months it seemed like we had almost no water usage, and then other months it was normal. But the way they did our water rationing table is it was based on usage per month from that year. And so they want me to cut back, so from like 20% from each number, and the months that we weren't here, there's basically nothing to cut. It's totally ridiculous. I wrote an appeal, I filed an appeal, and they rejected it. Jerks. So I've been getting screwed. So, moral of the story is always waste water, because when they ration you, they're going to cut based on your prior amount. So always make sure you wasted a big giant buffer, so when you cut, you're actually not cutting. That's kind of the twisted lesson that they're incentivizing. So. Doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but that's how it works because they're not really thoughtful about this. And I have, I think I told him before, but yeah, I had some other stories of friends who basically got screwed kind of the same way, where they actually proactively cut their water usage, and then when mandatory cuts came, they were required to cut on based on their prior usage, and they had already cut so much it was like impossible for them to cut anymore, and they got penalized. So I'm gonna get Scruffy his food. Ready for food? Yep. Okay. Get your food. Let's play with the little. So here, yeah, that piece of fur next to around his foot's not coming off. So yesterday it looked like it was no longer around his leg; it was hanging between his two legs instead of wrapped around his left leg. And I noticed there's a chunk of fur that's come off that's next to the shelter. So I thought he lost some of the fur, and so it's no longer circling his leg. But yeah, today it looks like it's around his leg again. So I was surprised by that. But I'm assuming eventually it's all going to shed off. It's just a matter of time. So yeah, lunch went well. Although yeah, Scruffy knocked the plate or the bowl off the plate, or knocked the whole plate off the platform, and it has me thinking I should try changing the bowls tomorrow. So I think maybe the dinner bowl's not heavy enough. Hey, Scruffy. How you doing? Huh. So that fur is wrapped around your leg again. I thought it broke free yesterday. Yeah. So keep chipping away at it. So yeah, the weather is really weird, isn't it? It's sunny this morning. Now it's raining and windy and overcast and dark. Food on the table. Glove on. Scruffy came right over. So yeah, the training seems to be working. His ears aren't in the hyper defensive position anymore. And yeah, he likes rubbing against the chair or the jacket. He's been doing that for the past month or so. So yeah, the weather's very, very weird. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's get your food. So as I was saying at lunch, yeah, Scruffy knocked over the bowl of food while I was trying to eat it. He was trying to get his head in there. So I'm thinking he wasn't pushing around the bowl with the bigger bowl that I used a few days ago. I'm thinking maybe it was because it was a little bit heavier, so it's harder to push. So I'm thinking maybe I'll bring that bowl back, try it again tomorrow. This time I'll only put 2 balls in it instead of 3. And today, oh, I also watered down the kibble with the smallest amount of water I've ever done. So I was actually trying to figure out like what's the minimum amount of water I could put in there to basically stop the kibble from sliding around without actually having to soak the kibble. So I usually don't soak the kibble that much, but usually I'm probably putting too much water in there, more than I need. So today I was really experimenting with the bare minimum amount of water I need to basically make the kibble stick to the bowl. So I started by just pouring a tiny bit of water in the bowl, and then putting the kibble in the bowl, and then just shaking the bowl around until all the kibble stopped moving around. And it took a while to do that. Basically, I was shaking and I was using my fingers too to move the kibble around to make sure each piece is getting a little bit of water so it stick. And but eventually, yeah, it all stuck without very much water. So I'm thinking I might try to do that more in the future. I'm guessing. Well, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing Scruffy likes the kibble more without the water. Maybe it smells better. Although I've seen some videos where the owners kind of make a soup out of the flavor of the food, and the cat actually seems to enjoy the broth. So I don't know. I could be overthinking it. But then, yeah, after Scruffy knocked over the bowl, the balls rolled out, and they let Scruffy eat the food directly off the deck, or off the bowl that was on the deck, no longer elevated. And then I noticed he had a couple it looked like a swallowing action or almost a gag action, and I thought he's going to throw up again. So I decided I was going to put the ball back on the platform, but I didn't want. I was trying not to scare Scruffy because he's really skittish, so I didn't go for the balls. And I saw, yeah, the Scruffy was eating a lot faster without the balls in the bowl. But I also noticed the water making the kibble stick was slowing him down a little, so it's a good combination of things. Also, me cynically was thinking maybe I should let Scruffy knock the bowl over more often because he gets scared when the bowl falls because of the noise and whatever. But yeah, Scruffy is so skittish that everything makes him jump. So I was thinking maybe if I just have him knock over the bowl every day, it becomes part of the routine, and maybe it'll desensitize him to surprises and noises. But I don't know if I feel like doing that. Seems like more work than I want to do. And then when Scruffy gets hyper, I think or anxious, the probability of him throwing up increases from what I've been able to piece together. So I think a lot of times when he's thrown up, yeah, he's I think more anxious. So I don't know if that's because he's gobbling down the food faster, or maybe it's affecting the way he inhales and the way he takes in the food. So if I would do that type of scare training, I also might increase his chances of throwing up for a while, which I don't really want to deal with either. Okay, folks, thanks for watching. See you next time.